Alright, the Ginger here, and today we're going to be going over the new update 1.03. And oh man, is this update huge. I had to actually take a bunch of notes, and I have 2 papers full of notes that I had to actually shorten down a little bit and write in English, because damn, there's a lot on here. But without further ado, let's get into some of the quality of life stuff. NPCs that you come across are now going to be marked on your map. So, for example, over here you've got the finger-reading crone. Or if you come down here, you've got the nomadic merchant, who we still have to kill because we are missing a couple. You've got Yuri down here, and then you've got Kenneth. Speaking of which, they fixed some quests, including Kenneth's quest. His quest is now able to be finished. There's new dialogue and new phases, so that's a plus. Same thing with the Yalls and the Feli quest and the Gatekeeper of Gostek. So, I don't know if a lot of you guys know, but over here at the main Stormville gate, that little merchant guy over in the left corner, he actually has a mission. I didn't know that. So every time I get in here, I kill him. So now I gotta start a new playthrough and do his mission, because apparently he has a mission. So, yeah, we didn't know about that. So this is kind of like a whole DLC, because they did add in a bunch of stuff. Like, a lot of stuff that we didn't have before. Like, they added in a new NPC. We've got Jarbairn. He is in the Jarbug, so we're not really going to go too much into depth with him, because he does tie into the Yalls quest. And a lot of these quests that a lot of people haven't been able to do yet, so I don't want to spoil them, so we're not going to be doing that. So just know that this is a spoiler-free video on all the new quests. We're not jumping into those. We're not going to show any of those contents, because if you know about the missions, you already know where they are. So go and finish those up real quick. But, we touched base on the NPCs are marked on the map, so there are more NPC summons in different situations. So, now you can actually summon more NPCs when you're going into a boss fight. Speaking of which, they also fixed it so that during the boss fight, certain NPCs will take damage now, because before they weren't taking damage. Which was a bonus for some people, I suppose, and a negative for others, because, I mean, what's the point? You want them to be able to die too for that challenge. Unless you're a weak little Nancy. Speaking of which, we'll be getting to you weak little Nancys here shortly, because I've got some heartbreaking news for you guys. And next up, we've got some new night music for in the open fields. So there's that. Look forward to some new music to catch on to. It's not very good music, but I mean, it's music nonetheless. Alright, and then you can also do more objects with the Mimic Veil. So that's some more quality of life stuff there, but we're going to start getting into the good juicy stuff now, because, oh man, I want to listen to some of you guys cry down in the comments. Let's go into all of the good stuff, all the stuff that I find important. So let's talk about the big sad for the speedrunners, man. Oh man, this is big sad, because I actually was doing a couple of runs on this too, and now it's kind of fixed. So the Mimic Tier Ash, some people were using this, not so much in speed runs, but more for boss battles, because they suck and they need the computer to do it for them. But now they nerfed the Mimic Tier Ash, so it does less damage, and its behavior has changed. But don't you guys worry. The people that were using it, don't worry, he's still better than you. Use him in your boss fights. He's going to be useful for you guys. But for everybody else that normally knows how to fight a boss, don't even worry about it. He's kind of weaker now. He kind of just more gets in the way for you. But, moving on. Let's talk about Hoarfrost, okay? So in order to show this Hoarfrost and the nerf on it, we're going to go actually right down here. Let's see, Church of Ayla. So we want to go here to the gate front. Because remember when this Hoarfrost was very OP and you were just one-shotting every normal enemy and then you were just spamming it for the bosses, but you can't do that anymore. And oh man, does this make me happy, because that means my speedruns from the future, if we can find better speedrunning tactics, are going to be much better than the Hoarfrost speedruns, because, yeah. But anyways, here's Hoarfrost, normal enemy, still does good amount of damage. doesn't one-hit him anymore. But you come up here. You see that knight right there? He's gave a lot of people trouble in the past. And a lot of people actually started off with the Hoarfrost Stomp by just doing this. Seeing how much damage it did to him. Guess what? He wasn't armored at all. Notice how little damage that does to an actual enemy now? That is pathetic. You can see here. So now I'm actually spamming it. I'm spamming the Hoarfrost Stomp right now. And as you can see, it's actually a little bit slower than it was before. Not much, but it's still noticeably slower. Another thing, smithing stones have been increased. The drop rate, so now you can catch them off more enemies. And also, there's smithing stones added in early game now, which is a big plus for a lot of people. Let's see here. Oh, you're gonna chase me. I don't want to fight. We proved our point about Hoarfrost there for a second. Now let's move on to some bug fixes, cause actually no, we were still on speedruns. Alright, Deathblight build. I know a lot of people are using this for PvP, but a lot of people were also using this for some other stuff. Only works on humans, they say, but it was working on some bosses that weren't human. So a lot of people were using this on that, and it worked. I actually had a few videos ready to go out. My, glitch bosses part 3 and 4, we had those all set up, and it actually dealt with a couple of the Deathblights and some other stuff. But now they've added in some invisible walls. Deathblight is no longer viable because they nerfed the hell out of it. It's still in the game, I believe, but they're saying it's eradicated. It's not. It's still in the game, but now you actually have to do damage to someone in PvP for it to work. So now you're not going to just have someone chasing after you and you just die automatically without even a fight. You don't have to worry about that. Another thing, the Erdtree Shield. People are using this for the Machine Gunner build, and you can no longer use it for the Machine Gunner build for the main fact of you actually have to reflect a projectile now. You can't just poison yourself or use the incantation to give yourself burn damage. So you can constantly spam that button, so that's no longer there. Fire's Deadly Sin incantation now works properly, and big sad, we're just going to bring this out real quick. They deleted the ragged armor set from the game. They suck so bad. We were going to be using that for a run, for a challenge run, but they deleted that, so oh man, can't be doing that. But let's get on to the bug fixes, and there's a lot of them actually. Some of them I didn't know about. There are players getting bug fixes. Well, there's a couple bug fixes for players not being able to get items from winning a boss fight, which is a very big deal because a lot of the boss fights have a lot of essential items that you need for some builds. So that'll be fixed now. Dialogue is no longer able to be skipped when you have some key configurations for your inputs, so that's a plus. You won't have to worry about that anymore either. What else do we got going on for us? The no more freezing while riding. I never ran into that myself, so that's a plus. No freezing while riding, so you're good on that now. There were some players not being able to obtain 2 Talisman Pouches. They fixed that, and they added it for sale in the Twin Maiden Husk shop in the Round Table Hold, so you guys can find that there. We'll actually jump into the Round Table Hold right now, see if there's any new differences, because there was a couple things bugged out for me. I want to see if it's fixed now. They added in a couple invisible walls in a couple different areas. So towards endgame with Godric, the first, well no, sorry, Godric the first Elden Lord, you were able to jump on the railing and get in there, and he'd be AFK, and you could just jump straight into the actual fight with the Elden Beast. A lot of speedrunners were using it, as you know. And they patched in a couple invisible walls there. I believe no way to actually do that glitch anymore. Also with, what's the, shard? So, this fella right here, over here, I forget his name. But the, Lord of Blood, they put in an invisible barrier there, so now the, jump you can't do. I believe that is the case, if I'm reading it correctly. I haven't gone to try out that jump. We might as well do that while we're talking. And, let's see. Fixed the made it so when you beat the end of the game, you can actually warp to other areas instead of just being stuck in endgame. So that's a plus. Fixed a glitch where players weren't able to go to the next area after the fire giant, which is, I haven't ran into that, so some people have that. They also did a couple other things here. They fixed weapon scaling, which, believe it or not, some of the weapon scaling actually affects this weapon right here. So, whoops, so I'll actually open this up. So the wing scythe, prior to this, it wasn't actually scaling properly with the attributes that it says it was. And now it actually is scaling. So, I haven't upgraded this weapon. I don't have an actual proper way to show you, but before, I wouldn't be able to do 1300 damage with this weapon. So, that is something to keep an eye out for. This weapon now does with the winged scythe. So, when you're using angel wings. Big bonus right there. That's just one of the weapons that they fixed scaling for. They fixed scaling on a lot of weapons, actually. We don't have enough time to go into all of them in this video, because we have a lot to go over. But, we're going to see if this invisible wall was put up here, as I was informed. I was told that they did put it up. So, I'm not sure if that's the case, but I believe who told me. So, we're going to try it out right now, but it's always better to double check. Also, multiplayer, the, so the entire area for multiplayer has been fixed. So, there was some points where you could actually run outside of the multiplayer boundaries very far and made it very difficult for people to kill you, and you just invaded their game and made it very hard for them to do anything. So, that's fixed. Ash of War, Determination, and Royal Knight has been, well, the Royal Knight Resolve. Their buff does not apply to other weapons without the skill now, which is good. They fixed a variety of sound, visual, and hitbox bugs. We can't really go into that because we don't have much experience for them. But now, let's see here. Oh yeah, let's see, some more balance changes. We already went over the increase of smithing stones, well, the drops, and then they also sell it. So yeah, hold on. I think they did move that back a little bit. I don't think they put an invisible wall there. I believe they moved it back just a tad bit. Yes, they did move this back. It used to be right here, and now they moved it back so you cannot make that jump. So, anyone looking to cheese the boss in this area now, you cannot do it. So let's try one more time. Just to double check, because it's always better to be safe than sorry. No, we cannot make that jump. I'm a pro at making that jump. I've made it hundreds of times. So, yeah. That is not working. So yeah, they put up a bunch of walls so you can't do skips. Big sad, big sad. So a lot of speedrunning glitches are no longer viable. They also increased the shield effectiveness for all shields. So now the shields are going to be a better option. It's not going to be so crappy. Let's get up here. See if that glitch does work now or not. Just to double check. I just want to check on some glitches that we have in some previous videos so we can make sure that they're not working. They increase the damage on all cracked pot items, so not just one or two, all of them. All cracked pot items now do Aromatic and the Poison Spray Mist. They increased the duration of the Uplifting Aromatic and the Iron Jar Aromatic. And Torrent gets more healing from all Raisin products, so that's really good if you guys use Torrent a lot for battle. And you need to heal them up, so now Raisins do more damage, well, more health regeneration. Let's check this out really quick. Let's grab our weapon. That'll do. So what we're going to do is check this really quick. Oh. Alright. Last attempt. Alright, now it feels like there's another invisible wall right here that's making it so we can't do the jump over to this. Sad. Actually, a good way to find out. Alright, never mind. So that's that. Now let's move on to the magic meta. Oh man. So did magic get one hell of a buff for something that was already OP already? And it's okay, most of my time getting all of this down, okay? So there's only a couple things that got nerfed for the magic area in this section. Everything else was buffed, like insanely buffed. So let's get over to my magic build and we'll just go in. We're going to be going over the magic meta really quick. But first, since we spawned right in here, I just want to make sure that everybody knows if this glitch still works or not. And I'm really hoping it does because it's really good for early leveling. Alright, it still works. Perfect. Alright guys, now let's get on to the magic section. Now, this is a couple of things that I find absolutely, utterly amazing. So, they reduced the FP and increased damage for the Glintstone Comet Shard, the Comet, and the Night Comet. So, we don't have to worry about all of that. Also, Glintstone Pebble. Range has been increased, and the FP has been decreased. Also, if you guys noticed, this is casting much quicker than before if you watched any of my other videos. I haven't really used them in a while, but I can obviously see there's a noticeable increase. They increased the damage of Gravity Well, Collapsing Stars, and Crystal Barrage. So these items were already very strong, at least the ones that I was using. They're already very strong, honestly. Another thing, let's keep going on this magic meta here, guys, because honestly, meta magic has just become even more meta. They decreased the FP cost for even more spells. This list is huge, just bear with me. We've got Star Shower, we've got Rock Blaster, we've got Gavel of Hermea, we have Founding Rain of Stars, we have Stars of Ruin, Great Blade Phoenix, we have Magic Downpour, Lorietta's Blade, Lorietta's Mastery, Carrion Great Sword, Carrion Piercer, Shard Spiral. Alright, that's a lot of spells right there that just got buffed that were already pretty good. Another thing that I like, Crystal Barrage right here, it has been increased. The damage has been increased intensively. That's great. So now it's more viable if you want to have a machine gun build with magic. Instead of using the shield, now you have a machine gun build with magic. We'll go into that in a later video. Again, we're covering a lot of stuff, and we don't want this video to be very long. We're trying to rush through it. We skipped a couple things, to be completely honest with you, that we wanted to go through, including a couple of the glitches with the bosses that are still working. Honestly, when you guys are here, There's a memory stone upstairs of Lena's Rise. All you gotta do is use that jump pad. You'll get up there. Don't even worry about unlocking this front door. Nobody cares about it. More speed and range of the Great Glintstone Shard. Let's see if I have that equipped or not. I do. Perfect. So, how much it's increased. Alright, so that's actually noticeably farther already. Let's back it up a little bit, see if we can't do a little bit more. I also noticed that the, oh yeah, that's going pretty far. Let's aim it back down, see if we can't see it back through that tree. So yeah, from here to that tree seems to be the max range. So from here, at this purple flower, so let's see, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, we're just going to keep going over here. So to this tree now. This tree all the way over here. That's a good distance. It used to only make it from where we were standing to about this tree here. So that's a huge buff. That's like 3 times the range, guys. That's like tripling the range of that. Hornfrost Stomp, damage and stuff was lowered, increased cast time, we went over that already. Ash of War, Bloody Slash. Now we're getting into more of the nerfs here. It does more damage to the self, it increases cast time, and it does less damage to others. That's a huge sad for some people. Rock Sling, still the same, pretty good. Same amount of range, just a little bit more. They did add in a couple extra feet to it. It used to stop out just a little bit sooner, but now you've got more range for that. Sorry, we're getting into the nerfs, we're going back into the magic. We don't want to do that. We need to get through this nicely and quickly. Sorry guys, we're not trying to be mean about it. But weapon skills, Sword of Night and Day. So the Sword of Night and Day, the damage has been decreased. I don't have that sword in my arsenal because I knew that was happening. I wasn't going to waste my time with that too much right yet. Let's see. They increased the FP cost, well, consumption of, and lowered the duration of Barricade. So Barricade Shield now is no longer super OP. It uses more mana, and it lowers the duration. Another cool little thing is, it's not so much a nerf or a buff, but more of a quality of life change. So, Prelates Charge, they changed the FP timing of it. So if you're canceled out the attack at a certain time before this patch, you would still use FP. So if you started it, you had to follow through. Now you've got a little bit more leeway. You can cancel it a little bit early. You have a little bit more of a window to cancel it before your FP is consumed, which is great. Also, they did a lot of more character changes to everything. I'm not sure how much time we have in this video already, and we're dragging it out a little bit, which I didn't want to do. But let's go over everything. They also made the scaling for some weapons better. Let's see if they affected any staffs here. So let's go through our staffs. Alright, it does look like they did buff a couple of the sorcery scalings. It does look like that. But let's find out. We'll find out in a future video. We'll go through all of that, all of the actual damage changes in the future video. But we wanted to go over everything, but we are going to talk a couple more things really quick. Speedrunning tactics. There's been a few things that have been changed as well. So, Volcano Manor, you used to go... I don't have it unlocked on this one because I started a new spellcaster. But when you get down here and you go in here, I haven't done much for the spellcaster yet. I went full in on the melee build, because why not? But over in here, you've got some portals that'll transport you all the way up north into Mount Galmore to Volcano Manor. Those portals still work, but they have made a fix to a lot of the skipping. So a lot of speed runs, if you have your speed runs already in the records, congratulations. There's very little chance that anybody in the future are going to beat your speed runs. So Distortion 2, congratulations, man. You have the world record probably for life now. Congratulations. Good job on that. That is amazing. But a lot of speedrunning tactics have been fixed. So, like, all of the stuff that you would normally do, like, you'd do nice little, like, map skips. Like, you would go to Volcano Manor, then you'd use your, you would use the this right here, and you'd return to the last site of grace, what would actually do, instead of putting you right where you were already, because you were in the audience pathway, you are now going to be not able to use that method, I believe. I'm going to be testing it later, but we're going to go out on a limb now and say, since they patched a lot of the speed running stuff, because a lot of people were abusing it, obviously. And that's not what they wanted. They want this game to be open world. They want people to take their time with this game. They want us to be putting 40, 60 to 100 hours. They want no less than 40 hours in this game, honestly, for a normal playthrough. So they're going through and they're fixing a lot of the speedrunning stuff. More glitches and skips we'll go over that are patched already. They went through, like, this whole update right now has been absolutely amazing across the board. Yes, it does make a couple of changes that people aren't gonna like, but at the end of the day, this right here is amazing. And yep, this right here you can still do at Lenny's Rise. So you can get in here if you're a mage, you can get up here, go to the top, and you'll get your mage stone. I believe I already got it, so we're not going to have to worry about it. Also, that guy down there, I believe he's one of the people that have now been fixed, actually, that drops an item. I don't know entirely, and I'm not going to put my money on it. But I believe that he's now fixed, and we'll kill him shortly. But yeah, you go up here, and that'll take you to your memory stone. So let's actually pull out and see how well Crystal Barrage is now. Alright, so it's actually still hella weak. Who'da thunk? Not a big deal. So that's still really weak. They did do a lot of scaling with some other stuff. So now weapons that actually have other stuff would build up. They properly build up when you add an Ash of Grace. Some of them weren't doing that. So keep that in mind. He's a little bit too strong for me right now. I don't have my magic. I'm not a melee character. So we're just going to leave that. But yeah, we've got a lot of stuff. Speed runs across the board are going to be hurting right now. But we are going to be going through, and we're a glitch channel for the most part, so we're going to be going through and trying to find those glitches. And we're going to release them to the public. We had a few videos that we were going to release, so it's going to be a couple extra more days than it would have been already. We were going to be releasing them today, but a lot of them have been patched, so we have to go through and refight these bosses and try to find some new glitch methods. There are some there's some bosses that have multiple different glitches. There was one glitch where if you snuck up to certain bosses, like to when there's a portal up like this, you just creep up to it, like this, and as soon as you get it, the enter thing, you would enter, there'd be a wall here, and you'd have to find a way to either right or left. There's a few bosses with that. We're going to be checking and see if that's still alive. Sorry for rambling on, guys. We're going to end this video here. We hope it was informative. If it was, drop a like and subscribe. It helps out. My mic's been fucked up too, so if you guys want to hit the Cash App, which is not in the description, so it's going to be in the description. I'm kidding. I need money, guys. If you want to hit me up with the Cash App, that'd be great. If not, just like and subscribe. I'll be happy with that too. We're broke bitches over here, guys. So, like and subscribe. Come back for another video. Check out some previous videos. There's some fun ones, even if some of the glitches don't work. Why not take a peek and maybe use some of those glitches in your favor for future bosses? Because we haven't gone through and fought every boss yet, but we're going to. We did get glitches for about 25 different bosses, and we've got to go back through and check them, so we'll be doing that. Don't worry guys, in this video your runes are still safe. You can still use this over here. They didn't nerf the amount of runes you get from them at all, so you can get there and do it, no problem. Alright, without further ado, Jazargo says goodbye and have a great night.